Right, let's get back to Francine Lacqua, who is live in Davos with another important interview for us. Good morning, Francine.
Good morning, Tom. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're now joined by Jose Ignacio Galán. He's the chairman and chief executive of Iberdrola. Iberdrola on its way to be one of the most important players when it comes to electrifying and, of course, renewable energy space in Europe. So, Mr. Galán, as always, thank you so much for joining us. There's so much to talk about because of the concern that inflation's going up, and actually we're trying to electrify, we're trying to be more green, but the transition will be much harder.
So, well, I think it's not new for us. We are more than 20 years trying to make that thing, how to electrify the economy, how to make already the utility much sustainable, how to avoid already to work with fossil fuels and to invest in renewable, in grid, in storage. And now I think it's a great time. Everybody recognizes that that is the way we have to make.
But is there anything that you need from governments, from policymakers to make it easier? So the Commission, the European Commission, has a huge ambition for the transition. What do companies need to produce more renewable energy?
Well, I think the European Commission, has, in my opinion, has to make a great job already leading the energy transition in Europe. The Fit for 55 document, it was a great document, but now they are making a document which I call, instead of Repower of Europe, I'm calling Fit for self-sufficiency, which I think is being self-sufficient, we will achieve the Fit for 55 objectives. Yeah. And I think they're providing certain tools for that one. The first one is already to provide, to make easy all the permitting process. Mm-hmm. The second one is to provide stable frameworks for making that happen, for attract already the capital. And the third one is to try all the necessary to make incentivize industries to transform the way how they're doing the things in a different manner. I can tell you we have plenty of industries which are calling us how to decarbonize their processes. That's new, and that is thanks of this leadership of the European Commission.
Will it take longer, actually, than you thought? So first of all, if you look at the energy plan from the Commission, has it changed your strategy? Are you doubling down on anything?
Not at all. It's already increased our commitment to accelerate our investment to help already in this decarbonization. I think our plan of 2025 is to invest on the range of 60 billion euros, which I think is almost 50% more than the previous plan. So I think we are trying to accelerate that one in the same thing. More renewables, reinforcement of the grid, which is something that people start talking about. I think people were talking in the past about renewable, now people start talking about the need
of... But it's very difficult to find the components. It's very difficult to actually ramp it up as fast as we need it to.
Well, look, the fact that the European Commission and the member states are already aware that if they would like to solve the crisis situation they're facing, and the best solution is already to become less dependent on the fossil fuels, are making then all of them ways how to make the things easier for us.
Talk to me about the UK specifically, where you have big operations. So is the UK, actually there's a windfall tax, we're talking about it. Have you had conversations with the government over this?
The first thing, I think, when we talk about energy, we are not talking about electricity. Electricity, in the whole consumption, electricity represents less than 25% of the whole energy demand. 75% of the energy is fossil fuels. 25% electricity, and part of this electricity also is produced with fossil fuels. So we are far. So the first thing is, please, when we talk about energy, we are talking about fossil fuels. We are talking about electricity.
I know, but is that the conversation you're having with the government in the UK? Are they
well, I think in the government, the first thing I'm not aware, but I think what I heard this morning is that nothing has been done in this respect. I think they are thinking about different possibilities, but not already to make windfall tax of those companies which are not having extraordinary benefit. In our particular case, Scottish Power, is the result of the first quarter is 30% less than previous year. Why? Because we are selling a fixed price and we are forced to buy much expensive price of energy we are selling.
Mr. Galán, if there's a windfall tax, would it make you rethink your investments in the UK?
Well, look, I think stability, predictability, rule of law are the conditions for making investment which stand for 40, 50, 60 years. Our plan in Britain is to invest £10 billion from now to 2025. And we keep already this plan to continue making this investment. But I think if the rule change, I think certain, my investors, with most of them are British, they will ask to me why. So, I need already to have argument. But our commitment is to continue investing £10 billion from now to 2025 in networks, in renewable, mostly offshore, and in reinforcing the grid, then we have...
But Mr. Galán, just so I understand, I mean, your point is that basically because you do renewable energy and things like that, then you shouldn't be subject to the windfall tax, or what is going on with politicians?
Well, I don't know, because nothing has been published on the respect. So I think in the moment if they publish anything, we will analyze. But I think it's very important, and I said all time here in those days in Davos, I think is needed huge investment to transform and to diminish our external dependency and to be self-sufficient. So we need to make already frameworks attractive, stable, predictable, in which the rule of law is crucial. Because if not, we will not raise the money, especially in the moment when the price of money is increasing. So I think it will be a good excuse because of the uncertainty to increase even more that one.
So who could do more? Is it regulation? When you talk about rule of law, is it politicians? Is it politicians in the UK? Is it the Commission? Like, what do you need today from people in charge to help in the transition even more than you do now?
I always said coherence between targets and policies. So those, I think, is long-term plans which are clear in Britain. So they are a target for decarbonizing the economy. They are target for increasing the number of renewables in the system. And the regulator have to follow those things, making the thing attractive. So this coherence, which is not only in Britain, everywhere, I think is the coherence between goals and targets and policies. And those, we have to apply those policies. And I think Britain up to now has been globally quite coherent. So I'm convinced that Britain will continue on the same path it has been for many years. That was make ourselves to have already decided many years ago to invest as much as we have invested in Britain, which almost has already put in £30 billion in the country, so which I think is a lot of money.
Mr. Galán, thank you so much for joining us today. Jose Ignacio Galán, they're the chairman and chief executive of Iberdrola. Tom, with that, I'm going to send it back to you in London.
Francine, thank you very much indeed.